Medical cannabis laws, MCLs, are associated with increased cannabis use disorder, CUD, and cannabis poisoning, while recreational cannabis laws, RCLs, are associated with increased cannabis poisoning, according to a study published online December 23rd in JAMA Psychiatry. I am
That was the
a
same
lot of
name that
acronyms.
popped up in that first news
Yeah,
article,
it
isn't it?
is.
It's the same
I
guy
think
as
it's the
Jammer.
Mm.
Journal of the American Medical Association
Okay.
Oh,
Psychiatry.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. They just threw in four acronyms in that first paragraph. So
Whoa.
buckle up, people. It's going to be one of those.
I'm just waiting for
Whoa.
this next name pronunciation
I
challenge. Let's
know. I saw that
go.
earlier. So
Let's
we have
go.
Jayani Jayawarda Hana, PhD from the College of
Wow.
Public Health at the University of Kentucky in Lexington. Apologies for
Oh, no, that
mispronouncing
was
that
perfect. That was. I think that was
terribly.
correct.
Well, if you say it fast enough, they
I was clapping.
hear, hear how badly that is done. But uh, they are a PhD, so they know a thing or two about this stuff, I'm assuming. And their colleagues examined the association between state-level cannabis laws and CUD and cannabis poisonings. And if we call CUD is cannabis use disorder, in a longitudinal study involving adults aged 18 to 64 years of age, state level cannabis use disorder and cannabis poisoning diagnoses from January 2011 to December 2021 were examined across all 50 states and the District of Columbia before and after implementation of MCLs and RCLs, which are medical and recreational cannabis laws. The study included 110,000. Oh no, sorry, that's
110
110
million.
million.
Wow.
Wow, that was a pretty comprehensive study. Over 110 million enrollees. The researchers observed significant increases in cannabis use disorder and cannabis poisoning in association with MCLs, so medical cannabis laws, by 31.09 and 0.76 diagnoses per 100,000 enrollees per quarter, respectively. In states versus without RCLs, recreational cannabis laws, were associated with a significant increase in cannabis poisoning by 0.34 per 100,000 enrollees per quarter. There was
Did they
no,
specify what cannabis poisoning is?
it doesn't seem to. There is no significant association seen for opening medical cannabis dispensary or for allowing home cultivation of medical cannabis. Compared with males and other age groups, female enrollees and those aged 35 to 44 years had higher relative increases in cannabis use disorder associated with MCLs, the medical cannabis laws. These increases may burden healthcare systems, emphasizing the need to couple cannabis laws with effective policy interventions and treatments for patients experiencing adverse health effects of cannabis, the authors write. And that is
Right.
the article, which was clear as mud, but
Made perfect sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
So I
I
think the
mean,
only way forward is to just make cannabis all illegal again. That seems to be the way forward. All right.
no, I don't think that's it. I think that's not the takeaway. That is definitely not the takeaway. I think the takeaway here is that along with uh, the opening up of medical cannabis laws and recreational cannabis laws, it's important to have appropriate education about, I don't know, using cannabis appropriately or whatever. Make sure your
Mhm.
bud tenders are educated and they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Keep doing research.
And it seems like small numbers. I don't know. Are they small numbers? I'd like to see what these numbers are like in comparison to other things. You like prescribed painkillers, SSRIs
Yeah.
for those low
Right.
alcohol use, because we're
Yep.
saying in association with MCLs by 31.09
And is
and
that like
0.
percent or like what is that number?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Maybe that's like 31.09 people over 100,000 enrollees per quarter. I don't know. You see, the numbers just don't fucking make any sense. So
That's not a lot then.
Well,
yeah.
like even in there, didn't it make it sound like so it said the what, 110 million or whatever? Didn't
Hmm.
it later down the way, didn't it make it sound like they were doing it like on a quarterly or something? So like were the same people enrolling every
Mm,
quarter and they just kept adding that number
uh, good
or
question.
was it actually 110 million individual people?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very unclear, and we need to have Gianni on the show to explain his research, I think.
Yeah,
because
right.
it's,
That would be a good idea.
At least to be able to pronounce his name right, though, right?
yeah.
That's right. Can you
Yeah.
clarify? Can you break it down phonetically for us, please?
Yeah. Do you got
Yeah.
a whiteboard you can write this out? Put little
Yeah.
dashes?
Yeah, I think that's a good question because 110 million people, that's like a third of the US population, man. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
330
crazy,
million.
man.
There's a lot of people. So I reckon there would have been like people who have been called up numerous times, and it's over 10 years as well.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
they
it's a
say
good
they
question.
observed significant increases. So is this an observational study? Like how were people self-reporting? Did they have questionnaires they filled out? Like I don't know how they actually did this study.
As
Right.
usual, we're reading about one of these studies to do with medical cannabis and its dangers, and we can just already just pick holes in it. Be like, hold on, what about this? What about this? What about this? You'd assume that these guys who are professionals at doing studies would, get all this shit properly laid out so we can understand it, so they can explain it to the layman. But
Right.
But
of
then
course, there's
also
issues.
cannabis use disorder and cannabis poisonings, is that because people are also self-reporting more openly because in a 10-year span, states have legalized?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Right. So that could
You know.
be a factor as well. Because it also said that medical cannabis dispensaries or home cultivation didn't have an association with the poisonings or cannabis use disorder. So home grow, maybe it's just all home grow.
Yeah, we should definitely all just home grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another thing there with the whole cannabis poisoning thing, and I think Turbo said in the chat there, like, yeah, but did you die?
Yeah. No.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's a
'cause
valid
that's
point,
also
Did you go
Yeah.
to sleep? Should have been the question.
right.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the whole cannabis poisoning thing. I don't like the terminology they're using there.
Yeah, because that doesn't really what does that mean?
Yeah.
You are right. Like, is that somebody overdosing on edibles? Is that somebody like greening out?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a
Like
cannabis
at most, I'd give it greening out, but
right.
you know,
But is that considered a poisoning? Most of the time when you green out, in my experience, you don't throw up. Whereas if you alcohol poisoning, we all know what that looks like.
yeah,
That usually causes a lot of throwing up.
like
That's
that
right.
would kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like actually
And can
kill you.
kill you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like a cannabis poisoning is a very different thing. I would be curious to see how they define that. This article has more
Interesting.
questions and answers. So
Yeah.
Let
Like,
us know
who
what
do we gotta
you all
talk
think
to
in the
to get
chat
the
as
right
well.
answers?
In the chat, in the comments, can you break some of this down for us and help us understand what the fuck these people are talking about?
I think you should ask ChatGPT. What is cannabis poisoning?
ChatGPT can be a bit biased, You wouldn't think it to
Mhm.
tell the truth all the time. You can be really skeptical of that guy. He can pretend like he's your friend, but he can be full of shit too. No offense, ChatGPT. No offense, just saying.
if you're listening.
Oh,
Right.
if, of course he's listening.
Right.
Now my
Always
shopping
listening.
list is going to be wrong because you said that.
Mhm.
Shit.
Yeah, who's that in the chat there? I can't see the fucking thing because it's in blue. It says, alcohol poisoning equals death. Cannabis poisoning equals deep sleep.
Correct.
Yeah, that's right.
Green
Death
fingers.
is also a deep sleep too. It's just when you don't wake up from. Maybe you just exit into the simulation. Anyway, yeah, interesting article there, and lots of potential errors that need to be picked out and broken down so it actually tells the truth rather than pushing a bullshit agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you for the full show on Sundays on youtube.com/high on homegrown. Thanks for watching.